people. My name is Helena. Welcome back to Afarmers Media. My name is Helena, like I said, and you can get us on FB at Farmers Media, always live from 10 all the way. We have like 3 shows during the day, so don't miss out on either of them. It's a very informative show. I have a host with me, but before we start on our host for today we're going to be talking about the influence of social media in agriculture. So let that sink in for a while. But before we get into that, I want us to go through our traffic for the day, our traffic updates for the day, because naona kuna mambo inafanyika on our roads for the day. The people are actually complaining about the garbage collection in Nairobi. Sakaja, are you hearing that? We're talking to you. Nairobi is going for a lot. From a weather update, Jogoo Road. On Jogoo Road, there's an accident happening. That happened like around 2 hours ago. So there's an accident along Jogoo Road near Mogas petrol station. So be careful of that. Also on Kiambu Road, there are drums that are being put there on the road. So be careful of that. I don't know why they're there. Why do they usually put even those drums on the road? They cause traffic, snarl-ups, problems to people early in the morning. So be careful if you're on Kiambu Road. There are those two drums happening there. Also, we have someone from NMS. What is it? Marabou stocks along Kenyatta Avenue, Nairobi, have actually been evicted. So, do they really affect people? Those Marabou stocks?
I don't think
just
so.
There and they don't even affect anyone.
Yeah. I don't think really.
Okay. So if you know something is happening along your road or the route that you've used, don't be afraid to post it, to share it with people, so that people can, have an update on where they're going, so that they can use other roads. And if you hear of an accident, don't be scared, just post it out. We are going to be able to kind of tell people so that they can be very, careful of those roads. Let me check out on my weather update for today, ndo tujue how our weather for today is going to be. Naona kajua kametokelezea already. Yeah, from Athi River, from my side of the road, my side of the place, we're going to be getting highs of 12 degrees and lows of 27. From Machakos County, we're going to be getting 18 degrees, highs and lows of, or rather 11 degrees and lows of 26 degrees. My phone is being slow today. It is not working. On Nairobi, highs of 12 degrees and lows of 27. Watu Eldoret, highs of 12 degrees, lows of 24. Western, kuna highs of 14 degrees, lows of 29. Kakamega, watu Khande, it is highs of 15 degrees, lows of 26. Adwa Nyoba, Adwa Kiabu, 12 degrees, highs and lows of 27. So that is the weather update for today. We're going to be, updating you throughout the day. So it's going to be a bit of a sunny day. So light outfits is going to be the highlight for today. Like I said before, our topic for today is the use of social media and farming, and what do you think about it from your aspect? How do you feel about social media and its effect in agriculture, in the agribusiness? Do you think it's beneficial? Is it helping you? Have you seen other people benefiting from it? Or how have you seen it impact somebody else's life? So do not be afraid. Our hashtag for today is farming for profit. Go on our social media, engage with us. We are at Afarmers Media on Facebook, Twitter, we are Afarmers Media, YouTube, Afarmers Media, and our website is www.afarmers.com. Okay, so I want us to just delve into that kidogo, because I was reading somewhere and it was saying Facebook is by far the most popular social media site that is used by farmers, okay? Worldwide rather, and it is followed by Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, and then YouTube. And in general, younger farmers tended to use social media more than average, okay? About 9% use Facebook for farm business reasons, while less than 10% use Facebook to advocate for agriculture. That leads us to our topic of discussion today, where we're asking how many farmers in Kenya use social media to manage and market their agribusiness venture, okay? So next to me is a social media guru, our host for today, and I'd like her to introduce herself.
Oh, thank you. My name is Fiona Luta, and I'm happy to be here.
You're welcome. So from our topic of today, I would like to know, you personally, how has social media influenced or rather helped you with your day-to-day life?
First things first, social media is here with us, and these are apps that we can't just avoid. Like when I wake up in the morning, first thing I want to see what's happening out there, what's going on, and I will try and keep up with all the apps. I'll go to Instagram, I'll go to Twitter, I'll go to Facebook. So I would say each social media platform plays a different role. So for me, I'm glad these platforms are here with us. Yeah.
So do you think, now let's get into as a farmer, do you think it is wise for a farmer to get into or rather use social media?
Yeah, I think the world is moving so fast. So I would urge all farmers to try and keep up because you realize all these platforms have different roles for farmers. Like each farmer, there's always something for every farmer. Like if you go to Facebook, there's something for you there. There are pages that would really educate you. There are platforms that will connect you to customers. So I would really urge each and every farmer just to try and get into these platforms. And you don't need to start heavy. You can start slow. You can start with the platforms that you're comfortable with because with technology, it advances every day. And every day different apps come up. So try with what you're comfortable with. But the important thing is just give it a go.
Do you think farmers are actually using social media?
I think they are. They are. Now, ule mtu wa mashinani, I would say they're slowly being influenced. Yeah, like when the kids go home to visit their grandpas, their grandmas, they're going with smartphones. It's an era where we have our kids walking around with smartphones doing so many things. So you realize once they get there, they'll be like, hey, Shosh, hey, Gooks, come and check, So they
take pictures.
Yeah, so they're slowly being influenced. Yeah. And then I usually get entertained by, we call them the village TikToks.
Yes.
That's where the entertainment is.
The entertainment there is vast. And I think from my perspective, it's actually helping a lot open up to a world that they weren't used to. Because mtu wa mashinani wouldn't have gotten endorsements to certain things if they weren't on TikTok. So do you think, or rather, from that perspective, you've said that people need to kind of open up their eyes to using social media because you've said we are into that era.
Yeah.
So do you think they are credible?
For me, I would say there's
or rather, how can they know that it's a credible site for them? Because unajua ni mtu ameingia for the first time, ameletwa kazini yake kutoka Nairobi, so he's trying to open up his mind to something new. So how would you advise somebody who is starting to use social media? What advice can you tell them in terms of what site is credible and what isn't?
I think first things first, seek as much information as you can, because we have so many pages out there that are scam. So if you go in a naive way, you will be easily scammed. Depending on if you're just going in for entertainment, you'll consume the content and nothing happens. But if you're going in either to sell something or to seek certain information, you need to be very careful, because there's so many pages and people are taking advantage of each other. So first things that you need to look out for verified pages. When a page is verified, it means it's legit. So there are no connish activities in there.
How do you know it's verified?
There's just when you look at the page, there's always like a green tick at the name of the pages group. There's always like a green tick. So that shows you this page is verified. Yeah. So once a page is verified, it's unlikely for them to take advantage of someone seeking information or selling something.
And what if I go into a page and I'm like, hey, icon numbers, I want to get into that. Do you think, how would you advise somebody to go into that? Would they, it's the whole verification aspect they have to look first for?
Yeah, because it's once a page is verified, I'm sure it has been really looked at. They have seen the operation of the page. They don't just verify any pages. You can see that a page has like a huge number of followers, but it's not yet verified. So, but yet a page can have a very small number of people, yet it's verified. So they check the operation of the page, you know. And for me, I would say, you've said that numbers do lie. Like a page can have 1 million people following the page, but they're buying followers, they're buying likes, so they're buying numbers basically.
So to dupe somebody who doesn't know.
Yeah.
So Meskia, make sure that it is verified. There's a way that you can check it. It has a green tick.
Yeah, it has a
small
green
tick. So be
tick.
very careful of the sites that you go into. Make sure that it's verified. Now with that, I want to understand which sites, since we're talking about sites, which sites do you think farmers get into?
I've seen, my opinion, I've seen many farmers leaning on Facebook. Yeah.
Why do you think so?
I think Facebook, there are so many groups or rather pages that are now creating agriculture-related content. You know, in the past, the way a farmer would just be led to look for information by himself, uliza jirani yako, how are you doing this? But right now, we are getting to a place where so many pages are coming up, and they're talking about different agriculture-related content. So farmers are leaning more to that, because a farmer would get to Facebook, and the moment you just even start typing like strawberry farming, like you will get so many recommendations. Yeah. So I think for me, Facebook is doing quite well in terms of getting information out there. So that's why most farmers are leaning towards Facebook. Yeah.
What other social media platforms do farmers get into also, apart from Facebook? Because I've also seen Facebook, people are leaning more into that.
Yeah. I think also YouTube, because now for YouTube it has extended videos on tutorials, like step-by-step videos on how to plant tomatoes, how to plant, you know. So if you're seeking quite an extended information, like a long video of, let's say, even an hour instructing you on farming this, farming that. So YouTube is also a platform that so many farmers are leaning towards. And there are so many relatable videos where you can, if you're a farmer and you're farming strawberries, you can simply go to YouTube and you'll find a farmer who is doing the same. And they will tell their stories, the ups, the downs, you know. So I think YouTube is also
making waves.
Yeah.
Okay. That is really nice. Now, you said you use social media on a daily basis. Do you think that is also beneficial for a farmer?
It is.
Rather, what I'm trying to ask is, with everything, I feel like everything has pros and cons to it.
Yes.
So do you think that social media has a con to it for a farmer? Do you think it has a disadvantage to a farmer?
I would say the advantages outweigh the disadvantages. Because if we talk about the advantages, farmers get to network on these pages. Like as a farmer, you realize once in a while you need to put yourself out there, interact with other farmers, doing different things or doing the same things you're doing. So it's a platform that has enabled farmers to network. That is an advantage. And then farmers are able also to connect to customers. Yeah, like, Kitambo, the way you'd harvest your things, go to the market.
And that's the
and just get to do your thing. Kama ni utatumia. You remember those things of the ones, they're not microphones, the things they use to announce. I don't know what they're called.
I think they're called xylophones.
Yeah, those things.
I have nyanyazo.
So it's the route you're supposed to take, and then also transportation to the market. So there's so many inconveniences in between. But right now, if you're a farmer and you've harvested your tomatoes, you just go on these pages and then you tell your people, I have harvested tomatoes, I'm in this and this location. And before you know it, even a buyer from Mombasa can be able to reach you.
Also, it makes you reach a wider audience.
Yes.
Somebody would have actually never actually thought you'd actually, market to.
Yeah, I think it's even cost effective because come to think of it, someone will make an order. The only thing you'll have to work towards is delivery. And like, Kitambo, you have to go to the market.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's an added advantage.
Okay. So, do you think with that, do you think the introduction of social media, or rather its introduction, has it impacted the agricultural business or the agriculture in itself? How it has rather impacted it?
From the previous question you asked me about advantages,
yes.
I did not answer that.
Okay,
if
sorry.
you allow me. So for the disadvantages, you realize there's so much information out here, and every information that you get, it could be positive or negative. So if you consume the negative information, it will affect you as a farmer in so many ways. So I believe that is one of the disadvantages, where not every you should not consume every information. Like, do your due diligence.
Verify the information, make sure the sites are correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then another disadvantage is the scam, the conning of farmers. So that is also a disadvantage that farmers should look out. Okay. Especially there are people who will come in and claim to help you sell your products. Once,
in the long run, they're just taking a product and that's it. They disappear. I have a friend who actually did that, but it's for something different. They were meeting up with a client in Anaishi Kajiado, so they were meeting up with a client in Pika to sell their products. Now, as the person apparently lied, they were going to the bank, kuna mtu mwingine anachukua vitu akizipaka kwa lori akizieka. So by the time they're coming back, everything is gone. So be careful of the people that you're also selling to. I think that's also a disadvantage, right? Because be careful of people. People are, we live in a life where people are for themselves on a constant. So be very wary of the people that you're doing business with, because you're going to be open to a wider audience of people, and you do not know, rather, what the plan of that person is, I want us to go back to what wa mashinani kidogo. Yes. Because I feel like our grandparents walikuwa nafanya, they did farming without social media, and it still did well for them. So do you think for that person who is in mashinani, or rather isn't using social media, the business won't make it, or
like you've said, before social media, they were still farmers.
Yeah.
And we have successful stories. So social media, whether you're on social media, whether you're not, that does not determine the success of your business. Because there are people who are still learning, who are still trying to get into social media. So social media is just an added advantage. to
It's a
you as a
boost.
farmer. It's a boost. It comes to boost whatever you already know. So businesses would still thrive if there was no social media. But I think you should just try.
You should just
Try to catch that flu, that fear of missing out. Yeah. Yeah. So just try it.
Just try it.
You never know.
Yeah.
It could be, the success could double.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I think you're limited to the community aspect of it only. So this opens up so many doors.
Yeah.
Do you think it's expensive though? Is social media expensive?
Social media is okay. It's expensive and it's not.
Okay.
It's less expensive to those people who are exposed to it.
Okay.
But for someone who is tunarudi kwa watu wa mashinani, for someone mwenye ako huko mashinani, probably ako na kabambe, the kabambe phone. So and we know well, social media works well with a smartphone. So for this person to come to this world of social media, they need to first acquire a smartphone. They need to familiarize themselves with these apps. So if you have a kabambe phone, trying now to buy a smartphone, it will be a bit pricey for you. But for someone who is exposed to all these platforms, it's a bit cheaper. Once you have a smartphone, you just buy your data, and I believe the cheapest data is around 10 shillings. So you just, with 10 shillings, you do your research, you peruse these pages for 1 hour, and you get the kind of information that you want.
So it's actually very cheap. So it's easy for everyone to actually get into social media.
It is. It is.
Okay. Now I think we're going to take a mini short break. And I'm really loving the conversation that we're having. When we get back, we're going to delve more into it. So stick around. We're going to be back.
Melon is a trailing vine in the gourd family. The word melon can refer to either the plant or specifically to the fruit. Watermelon is a type of melon that is sweet and refreshing fruit. Watermelons can either be grown on home gardens for small-scale farmers or large-scale depending on the market demand. You can either transplant or plant watermelon seeds directly. For best performance, plant watermelons in hot, sunny locations with loose, fertile, well-drained soil that is rich in organic matter. It is best to plant watermelons on raised rows and ensure that the soil pH is between 6.0 to 6.8. On average, it takes around 3 months for a watermelon to grow from seed to mature fruit, with smaller varieties having shorter growing times than larger varieties of watermelon. Watermelon growing, if done rationally and on a scalable basis, can be a good source of income. A nursery bed is a small area of a yard or garden that's used for growing certain selected plants. The goal of a nursery bed is to grow young plants to a certain size at which they can be easily transplanted. A nursery bed can also be used to evaluate plants to see if they are worthy of planting in the larger garden, to observe their growth, habit, and color, or watch them for pests and diseases. A nursery bed is especially helpful for vegetable gardeners practicing succession in planting, in which a steady supply of fresh produce is maintained.
Welcome back. This is Afarmers Media. Like I said before, my name is Helena J. And my host, Turudia Jonatana.
I'm Fiona Luta.
Yes.
Happy to be here.
Yes, and our conversation for today is about social media and its impact in farming. Sindio?
Yeah.
And you've explained so much to me about the disadvantages, the advantages, how to verify social media sites, the sites that people actually use. Now, I want to understand from your aspect, because I know you're a social media guru. I want to understand your journey from how you started in social media. What were you doing first?
Hey, you're taking me back. Yeah. You're taking me. Is it Thursday? I'm a TBT.
Flashback Friday. Friday. Yes.
You're really taking me back. Social media space. Let me tell you something. This is a space that can motivate you, or sometimes it can really put you down. Oh God. So I started in advertising, where I would advertise pages for businesses.
Okay.
And then
how was that?
That I would say was a bit tricky because I was fresh from campus, just trying out,
Okay. Was it agriculture related? No. Okay.
Imagine it was not. Okay. It was not. One thing, nilikuwa najua ukulima ni retirement plan.
What for mashinani?
Yeah, once I retire, I'm going to get a piece of land somewhere and just...
That is a retirement plan.
Yeah, that's a retirement plan.
Life has a way of shocking people. So what happened next?
So from advertising, I came into agriculture. And when I started working with an agriculture organization.
Okay.
And I was creating content for them.
Okay.
So, transitioning from advertisement to agriculture, those are two different worlds.
Yeah.
So I was just like, how will I hack this? Like, what happens next?
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know. Like, the way we usually think agriculture is so complex.
Yeah.
Like, you kulima, ntaanzia wapi, So I started small. I started creating a few posts here and there. And then the reception was so unmotivating. So unmotivating.
When was this?
So that was in 2019.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was in 2019. And then I'm coming in, I'm a newbie.
Something totally different.
I've created content before, but not agriculture related. So I'm just like, sasa hii, what is this? Nanzia wapi? But then at the time I had a very good team, so I was guided well.
Okay.
And then the team used to tell me, you know what, even for us, we used to start, we would get 1 like from the people we know. Yeah, so you'd really get likes from just your colleagues, people who know you're doing this. Na pia utakuwa you would have pushed them, hey, you guys.
To get into that idea.
Yeah, able go support, So for me, I figured, what if I bring the fun aspect to the way I create content?
Okay.
I was like, since I don't know, since I'm not sure about the complicated aspect of agriculture, let me bring it in a light, in a way that even someone who doesn't know what agriculture is can consume my content.
Okay.
So I was like, let me start with what I know and what an amateur outside there also knows.
Yeah.
So I would come up with the kind of content that is relatable to everyone.
Okay.
Even someone who is just like, what is this person talking about? They will be like, anyway. Yeah, so we've come a long way.
What about now, when you look back? Is it the same reception? Is it the same? Or rather, how was the journey, the reception-wise?
I would say back then, my type of content was, there was a lot of imitation.
Oh, okay.
I would try and see what is the other person doing, what is this other person doing. But then with time, I realized, let me bring out something of my own. So what has changed with time is I'm now creating content according to what I know and understand, and according to what is relatable out there.
Okay.
So my audience, I would like someone to look at my post, look at anything I'm creating and just be like, I can relate. I know what you're saying.
Relatable content. Okay. So with that whole aspect of, you were saying you're emulating other people, is there somebody who you look up to into that, in aspect?
This space?
Yeah.
For me, I have so many people I look up to, but I'll just share 1 or 2 people that drive me in terms of creating content.
Okay.
I usually lean towards short and creative videos.
Okay.
So there are these guys who they go by the name Epic Gardening, where they create like 5 seconds video. After 5 seconds is a bit long. They create like a 1 minute to a 2 minutes video, and you realize the videos are so interesting. Like, they get you glued to the screen. The moment paka unajiuliza, did it have to end?
Yeah. It's that good.
Yeah, so they're called Epic Gardening.
Epic Gardening, okay.
Yeah, so they share very short videos, but very interesting. Yeah.
Okay. So, before I continue, I want to deviate kidogo to what we're talking about. So you're saying that the fun aspect of it actually intrigues people. So do you think that's the main reason why I'm going out of topic kidogo? But do you think the fun aspect is what is needed to actually influence the youth to get into farming?
I would say yes. Because like we said it earlier, there's these TikTok videos, like they're not doing so much. Someone would just be taking a video and something happens in the background and you're just like, oh God, and it's funny, So many young people, they look at agriculture as a very complicated topic, as a very complicated thing. So if we bring the fun aspect, if we create these to short videos, to fun videos, And then we get into the TikTok space, and we also share like growing tomatoes, and we break it down into short and fun videos. I'm sure it will also attract the youth. It will also lure them into this agriculture, so that wasijue tu agriculture ni uchafu. You know, like,
Oh, no.
I'm not going to the farm.
Yes.
Yeah.
That it's for everyone, and they should be open.
They should be
to it.
open-minded to it,
Yeah.
and they should know it does not just limit you to going to the shamba with the djembe and plowing that garden the whole day.
There are so many aspects.
There's
to
so many
it.
aspects
I learned that
to
you
it.
can be an agricultural insurer.
Yeah.
You can get into the insurance aspect of it. So there are so many avenues about agriculture. There's so many courses, so many. I think yesterday we talked about the courses that are actually into it. So farming is not just limited to kwenda kwa shamba. You can be in the office, but you're doing something that is related to agriculture also. Do you think from your aspect that the marketing of agriculture should be enhanced more in our social spaces? Because like I when I'm looking at social media, I was checking, is it 43? I'm not so sure about the numbers, but you have so many people who are getting into social media. But the whole aspect of agriculture now being in that aspect, in the sense of not only entertainment, but we can put agriculture there. Do you think that we should platform it more, or rather advertise it more? And how do you think we should do that?
When it comes to putting agriculture out there through our social media platforms, I would urge farmers to share their, for instance, as a farmer, show us your daily activities. When you wake up in the morning, what do you get up to as a farmer? Like, give us your intimate moments. Share it in that space. And I think we will be drawn to you, because I would really want to know, like, a melon farmer, what do you do on harvest day? How do you wake up in the morning prepared to go harvest melons? So I think when it comes to agriculture being out there, farmers need to more us more.
Okay.
Yeah, apart from just the normative, we are harvesting, we are going to sell. Give us more more knowledge on what you're doing. Take us through your challenges, you know. So I think apart
so it's
from
more on the farmer actually posting it, or rather putting it out there.
Yeah, put it out there, and we should have more content when it comes to agriculture. Like if you go to TikTok, what more content do people consume there? Entertainment, lifestyle, fashion. So I think we should also have so many farmers getting into those spaces and just being fun and creating videos and putting them out there, you know.
Yeah. What is the future from now with this whole aspect? Now you're saying you should put it out there. What do you see the future of social agriculture, like rather social media, with the whole agriculture aspect of it, with the whole mindset that we're going into? Because now we're getting into social media is everything. We're in that era of social media, so do you think the future of it is viable for agriculture?
Yes, it is. I can tell you this is the route we are taking.
Okay.
This is the route we are taking, and we are glad that the percentage is rising in terms of farmers who use social media. Farmers have created groups. Now, let's say if you're a farmer who is not familiar with these social media spaces, and you meet a fellow farmer and they're like, Ata, we've created a group, I can add you. You know, you're already influenced into getting in. So this is the route we are taking. And for farmers, they just need to adjust. They need to adjust towards getting into these groups, getting into these pages, because technology advances. And as technology advances, you need to also advance with it.
With the times.
As so many pages are coming up, as so many social apps are coming up, you also need to keep up. You need to consume as much content as you can, because it will open your eyes to so many things. So I would say the future of agriculture, we are headed there. We are headed there, and it's for farmers to keep up. It's for farmers to keep up with everything that is happening. I believe you cannot be a farmer trying to put yourself out there na hata ujui any apps. Like uko tu uko geshagi ama ushago.
Funny enough, there's an app actually I was seeing that is actually meant for farmers. It's helping them with, I'm trying to remember, but it's mostly for agriculture.
Okay.
There's an app that is coming up that is actually helping farmers with their day-to-day life. So I think there's so many advances, like I said, so many advances in social media, and with that you also get to learn there's so many advances in technology.
Yes.
Yeah, so social media is the way to go for farmers. You get to learn, you get to advance your territories when it comes to marketing. The audiences also will be a bit larger than what you're used to. And also you can learn so many things about your product and how to actually package it and how to even market it. I want us to also continue on that. You're talking about marketing as cost effective. Would you mind expanding on that, kidogo?
If we look at, we've also talked about before social media.
Yes.
What were farmers doing? Were they not? Did we have successful stories? Now, when we look at marketing before social media, farmers used to harvest, and then you would just harvest your stuff, pack it in a lorry or something. You don't even know the condition of the roads. Probably it has rained. You're going to be stuck somewhere. You're going to waste a lot of time trying to just get to the market. By the time you're getting to the market, you're exhausted mentally, physically. So after you don't have that psyche to even be so vocal about your products. You're getting there. At the same time, it's not guaranteed that you're getting there and people are buying your stuff. You have to get there, and you have to also market whatever you're selling. So if we compare it to now, if I'm a farmer today and I'm harvesting my onions in the next 1 week, I will start advertising the same. I'll go to these pages. I will start putting it out there. I'll start telling people, be sure to get the onions by next week. By doing that, I'm already attracting customers. People will start making their orders. So look at that advantage. Kitambo, no one would know you're harvesting. Maybe just your immediate neighbors.
Not using the xylophone.
Yeah. So right now, you can imagine, it's just like a phone call away, and someone from Mombasa can come and take tons and tons of onions from you. So it's cost effective in that way, where you don't have to deal with transportation, you don't have to deal with bad roads. The burden is now shifted on the customer buying your products, because once they buy your products, you're the one who can organize with them where they can come and pick them up. So the burden shifts to the customer. So it's a weight lifted from the farmer. So as a farmer, if you look at the logistics, you realize that way it's cheaper than you trying to transport your things to the market yourself. Yeah, because we have bad roads, we have bad roads where you rauka asubuhi with your things, you go get stuck somewhere huko kwa matope, and then what happens? Nyanya zinaanguka. It's hectic.
Okay. So social media, I'm understanding it's really good in marketing.
Yeah.
And I want to understand also in terms of you've said it can actually help in boosting your agribusiness.
Yeah, it can.
So someone actually told me that social media is the best place also to actually help your brand. Yes. So if I'm a specific brand, say mimi agriculture, we're talking about agriculture. So does it also help brands, companies, and all that?
Yeah, because when we look at a large-scale farmer who is working with these production brands, like if you're working with these big brands, it also a way of exposing you to these brands as a farmer. Because if I'm a large-scale farmer doing a type of crop, and it's close to harvest time, and I'm on these social media spaces, I would really look for a company or a brand that I can work with in terms of advertising for me, in terms of doing value addition for my staff. So I believe it's a way of even branding Nini farmers in a way, where you realize you have good stuff. If we brand them and make some juice out of whatever you're growing, so you already have a company unauza juice, like the sugarcane juice. Have you? It's a very nice juice.
Yeah, it's actually very tasty. Okay.
And people are really branding the juice. And if you go to the supermarkets like Carrefour, Beyond Fruits, you can find them there. They're branded and,
Okay.
So see, it all goes down to the farmer.
It all goes down to the farmer.
Yeah.
So a farmer, some understanding with that a farmer can reach a wider audience, can be able to be helped by social media to actually brand themselves, reach out to companies also, and also companies can benefit with that, getting to source also farmers, the whole connection, the whole, what is the word? Networking aspect of it also is very beneficial. So for farmers out there who are trying to, put out their produce, social media is the best place to go for you. It'll help your business. It'll help you also. You're going to get more knowledge. You're going to learn so many aspects of farming that you were just close-minded to. And thank you so much for that. I have learned so much. I think...
Can I add on that?
Yeah, you can add as... Yeah.
When you've talked about networking, we have... You realize that social media has a way of helping farmers. It has reduced social isolation.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. For instance, you realize that events happen, and where are they advertised? On social platforms. Yeah. So when a farmer sees that, if we go back to Kitambo Kidogo, no one used to care. Farmers never used to come together unless they're coming together to sort vitu kama fertilizers, the boring stuff. But today farmers are meeting for tea, farmers are meeting just to interact and socialize.
And network also.
Yeah, and it's a good way because you realize when farmers come together, they learn from each other. And for the farmers who are isolated, they feel there's a space for us. There's a safe space for us somewhere. Yeah.
Okay. So they are no longer... Because I think farming is a lonely man's career.
Exactly. Now that's why I'm saying we are coming up with the aspect of social media bringing farmers together. Yeah, because it can be a very lonely career. Yeah. You can imagine.
So these events actually kind of create, or rather, kind of like forums.
Yeah.
Things like that. So people get to learn more from what they actually knew.
Yeah, you just invite farmers for tea. They come, you have a cup of tea, you talk, you interact,
Ideas get into play.
You get ideas, you get to know what is in their minds, what are they thinking, what are they planning. It's a good way of interacting with farmers.
With people.
Yeah.
Now, what advice would you give to anyone who is and anyone who isn't using social media as a business tool for agriculture and for other businesses? Because I feel like social media is very beneficial for any business whatsoever. But now we're going to be talking about agriculture. So what advice would you give to somebody who hasn't and who is also there?
For someone who is on these social media pages, I would advise them to continue learning. We never stop learning. So get as much information as you can, try as much new things as you can, and just keep learning. You just never know where it will take you. Yeah. For someone who is yet to try get into these spaces, I would also urge you, just get into one. You can try with simple things like WhatsApp. Try it, pole, advance into these other social pages. So, but it's, I would really urge people to get into this space, advertise your business, and just see the outcome. Like, they shouldn't be pages branded for some people. Izo sees it too, no? You should just get in there, do your thing, and leave the rest.
Okay.
Yeah, you might find the best market on Facebook, the best market on Instagram, and TikTok is hilarious, so get in there.
Make it fun.
Make it fun. And for farmers, give us more if you can.
Yes.
Give us more content.
Yeah. I think that's the best way to actually get people to get into farming. Because the more they see it, the more how it's good for them and it's benefiting them, then people are going to dive more into that.
Especially young people.
Especially.
Like we've always said, how do we get young people into farming?
Yeah.
By creating content that is relatable to them, by showing them that this can be fun just beyond the farm. It can be fun. It can be fun anywhere.
For both ages. not young, not only young, but not only old rather, but also young people. So youngsters, usiogope kuingia kwa shamba, usiogope the whole aspect of agriculture. It is vast and wide, and funny enough, unajua kila mtu lazima akule at the end of the day. Lazima tukule. So you have to understand also chakula inaanza wapi ndio inafika kwa table. But I'm really grateful for that conversation. Before we kind of wind up, I think we're going to get into the agri news of the day. Now I want to know your aspect of our Deputy President, Gachagua. He flagged off fertilizer subsidies to counties. What is your take on that? Because I saw somebody on social media actually saying that, fertilizer is just a small scope into that. There are so many aspects of it that need the government to kind of like dip their toes into. Do you agree to that, Amma? Do you think this is a good thing also? We shouldn't forget that it's also good.
Yeah, fertilizer is important.
Yes.
When you're farming, at some point, whatever you're growing, whatever you're doing, at some point you'll have to use fertilizers. Yes. So it's an important aspect, and farmers need it.
But do you think the government should also not only look at the fertilizer, but also look into the whole agricultural aspect of it? Because they feel it's important.
A portion.
It's a portion of what they should delve into.
Yeah, they should definitely. It's a huge aspect. Apart from just focusing on fertilizer, there's so much input before you even get crops or anything to harvest. So they should dwell into so much other than just dismissing other things. It's a wide thing.
It's a wider scope to it. Okay. Somebody told me yesterday that we had a very interesting conversation yesterday. Was it yesterday? With Jackie. Do not miss her. She's here at 3 p.m. Very interactive conversations right here live on Facebook. Do not miss that out. And we're talking about fertilizers, and there are fertilizers which are legit and others are expired. So do you think, because we're talking about the whole aspect of, Russia is the one who's donating, right? So I don't know if I'm going to be cut off because of this.
Are you saying too much?
Am I saying too much? But the whole aspect of fertilizers being not good for the plants, or they're rather expired. That's why they're giving it to us. Or do you think it's a legit transaction?
You've mentioned something that is expired.
Yeah.
Let's look at just the common things. If I have bread in the house and it's expired, should I eat it? What do I usually do with it?
You throw it.
I throw it away. So the same goes for fertilizers. If you're giving me expired fertilizers, do I know it, or
you have no idea?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Isn't that a criminal offense? But now I can imagine how it affects a farmer.
It affects a farmer very because it affects the crop, and it also affects the soil.
Yeah, and the yields will be so
minimum.
I think it's sad for the farmer.
Yes.
We're not
saying it is. We're just assuming.
Yeah, it's an assumption.
It's an assumption.
No one is sure yet.
No one should quote me and say, Helena said it is. No. I'm just assuming. Yeah. Because, people are always going to make contraband stuff on a constant. I'm going to tengeneza this. What is this called?
The pad. The
pad for the
mouse.
Fake, obviously. So we're just looking at those aspects of people, taking advantage of the business aspect, and you looking for shortcuts into it. So I'm just quote Helen. Tafadhali. Also, so now this is actually now to confirm what we are talking about. Now I'm just saying, farmers are assured of adequate quality fertilizer. So I think they've apparently assured the Kenyans that the fertilizer is quality. It has really good quality. So I think we've already talked about that. Yeah. Our President Ruto plans to transform agriculture and tackle climate crisis. He was talking to other countries while he was in the UK. He was talking to other countries and saying that we should also tackle this whole issue of climate change. Not only, rather the whole world should actually tackle it. What is your take on that? With the whole climate crisis that's happening, because I'm seeing in other countries kuna flooding, other countries there's so much heat and drought. What is your take on that?
When it comes to climate change, it's the effects are wide, but you realize the number one person who is affected is the farmer.
Yes.
Because with these harsh weather conditions, if we are experiencing drought, how are you expected to farm?
True.
And if you're not farming, if you are in a drought-stricken area and you're not farming, how are you expected to feed people? Yes. So climate change is something that should be addressed, and it is also something that people should be educated on the same.
Yeah.
Because when I go somewhere and I mention it randomly, hata tu to the boda guy or to the mama mboga somewhere, and I'm like, unajua hizi mboga zako hazitoki vizuri because you've been affected by climate change. Will she understand me? She'll be like, hiyo ni dawa gani sijatumia? So first things first,
Educate.
we should educate.
Yes.
For those who are well educated on the same, you should educate someone who is not aware.
Use social media to educate other
use
people.
social media.
Yes.
If you're well versed with climate change, educate other people, tell them what it is and how it affects them.
Yes.
So all these changes, it boils down to the farmer. The farmer gets affected the most. When it's drought, you can't plant anything. When it's flooding, you can't plant anything.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but it boils down to the farmer. The farmer is mostly affected. But people should be educated about climate change.
Yes, they should.
It should even start in school. We should start educating our young ones about climate change.
CBC actually has CBC tackling that? I'm curious. If you have a kid out there, please tell us, is CBC tackling climate change or rather educating the young ones about climate change? Comment on our Facebook page, like I said before. But I think it's a really nice initiative by our president to actually bring that, topic
even to bring it up.
Yeah, to bring it up, because it's really affecting all of us. We saw 70% of our economy is actually on agriculture, so that is something that really needs to be,
it's a conversation we need to have.
Yes. Also, something else that has been happening: 7 Ebola cases and 1 death confirmed in Uganda. Actually, a 24-year-old man.
Wow.
Yes. I saw it and I was so scared because it's Ebola. We're from one crisis to another.
Like if we start mentioning what the country has faced, not even the world has faced.
The world has faced. Starting again.
It's always one thing after the other.
And it's also affecting But do you think this crisis actually help the agricultural sector? Because I feel like 2020, hear me out kidogo.
Okay.
In 2020, it was reported that majority of people actually got into the agricultural sector because the business ilikuwa shut down. Unajua COVID ilikuwa people working from home. They're not in, businesses zimekatwa, so people aren't working anymore, so they got into the agricultural sector. For me, I'm looking at it, okay, not Ebola right now, but back then, just to clarify, back then, I saw it was a really good thing, but then I feel, social media is actually helping people learn more now. I think back then mtu alikuwa anaingia because kazi imeisha, wacha niingie kwa shamba sasa nilime. Yeah, but
I think why should we wait for a crisis? Why should I wait to lose my job so that farming can be an option? I mean, kuna pesa kwa farming. Let me tell you, kuna pesa. So why should I wait until I've lost a job, until the country is under crisis, so that I can figure out, now let me go to that land that I bought centuries ago to start farming? I mean, farming should be done at anytime.
At any time.
Anytime. It doesn't have to be a crisis happening. You can still have your job and have your kitchen garden doing so well.
Yeah.
You water it in the morning before you go to job. You water it in the evening when you come back. So farming should be, I think the information we put out there should be, get into farming. Don't wait for something to happen. Don't wait for you to lose your job so that farming can be an option. Like, do it while you're still earning your salary. Farming can be a side hustle.
Yeah.
Where you earn so well, Paka, you get to a point where you're like, you know what, let me now focus on farming.
But then the knowledge has to be there also.
Yeah, the knowledge has to be there.
Yes.
We don't need to be at COVID has happened, so let's get into farming.
Get into it.
Not really. Just be a farmer. I would like to see so many, if 10 young people are standing here, I would like to see each and every one of them saying, I'm a rabbit farmer.
I'm this.
Yeah, like...
I'm rearing chickens and doing this. Because farming is a wider spoke.
It is wide. Start with a kitchen garden that is easy and simple.
I can be proud of, I actually started, Dania garden. Like, Dania is thriving.
And you can even sell it.
Yes.
Like, you sell it, you go to your office, you're like, guys, niko na Dania.
This is my Dania.
Yeah. Are you buying,
a
Ama?
small kitchen garden.
And it's a herb that makes everything tasty.
Yeah, so social media is really good in making you learn, or rather, it's a knowledgeable place for you to actually learn. So we haven't even finished on the Ebola. What do you think? What is your take on that?
Really?
Should we be wary? Should we, be scared? Or should we just
I think
take measures?
If I'm not wrong, these are cases that have been happening in Congo and Uganda for quite a while. I don't know if it eventually gets into Kenya.
I hope not.
That's our fear.
I actually just hope it even dies also. Like, it doesn't continue.
Yeah, it doesn't spread to other countries.
Yeah, but also in Uganda also, they're the brothers here. So I just hope it just dies too on its own completely, because I've seen the pictures of what Ebola does to somebody's body, and it's not a pretty sight. So, let's just hope and pray that Ebola actually just dies. It doesn't continue, spreading. Yeah. Also, something else. Kenya, export value rises by 17%, helped by agricultural produce in Kenya. I think that's a major plus, and that's So
read that again. Read that again.
The export value in Kenya rises by 17%, and it's helped by agriculture produce. Yes,
you see?
Guys. You see, so
kuna pesa kwa ukulima, kuna pesa kwa agriculture. I'm just saying.
That is so nice. Yes, I actually was just laughing to you. Okay. So, like we said before, 70% of our economy's backbone is actually into agriculture. So you can imagine how much that is. Like, it's risen by 17%. So that is actually helping Kenya, and not only Kenya, that mkulima farmer, ule small scale farmer, that large scale farmer, like idea, it's creating so many jobs for people.
Yes.
So don't be scared, people. This is the place you need to be for all your farming questions, queries, anything. Don't be scared. Post them, ask us questions. We are willing to have those conversations with you. We're willing to actually educate you. And yesterday, I think Kevin also said, if you're interested, don't be scared. Post, text, tell us what you'd want to learn. We're here to teach you guys. I think our last also, agri news for the day is state to support farmers grow yellow maize. Yes. So the state wants to support farmers to grow yellow maize. From our conversation with Kevin, I understood that in America and all of those other countries, they use yellow maize to actually feed the animals.
Really?
Yes.
And yesterday...
It's not for human.
Yesterday I was listening to Noah on Twitter. They had a session on Twitter.
Yeah, this place,
Yeah, and someone said yellow maize is actually more nutritious.
Yes, it is more nutritious. I don't understand why, but we grow it actually. You see, ugali. Okay,
that's the ugali I eat at home. And you just eat a portion of it and you're so full.
You're so full. It makes you full.
So nutritious. Yeah.
Okay, so but I'm glad that they're supporting farmers and actually helping them just keep on growing, or rather grow yellow maize in the country. I think we're going to go for a little bit of a break, right? A little bit of a break, and we're going to get back and wind up our topic of discussion for the day. So stick around.
Mahindi yamekuwa chakula kikuu katika sehemu nyingi za ulimwengu na jumla ya uzalishaji wa mahindi kuliko ile ya ngano au mchele. Mbali na kuwa mahindi ni chakula, pia hutumiwa kutengeneza ethanoli, chakula cha wanyama na bidhaa zingine. Kunayo mahindi ya gume, mahindi ya ganda, yani popcorn, mahindi ya unga na mahindi matamu. Mahindi yanalimwa sana kote ulimwenguni na kiwango kikubwa cha mahindi hutolewa kila mwaka kuliko nafaka nyingine yoyote. Shamba la mahindi linaweza kutayarishwa kwa kutumia njia za kawaida au za kilimo cha uhifadhi.
Melon is a trailing vine in the gourd family. The word melon can refer to either the plant or specifically to the fruit. Watermelon is a type of melon that is sweet and refreshing fruit. Watermelons can either be grown in home gardens for small-scale farmers or large-scale depending on the market demand. You can either transplant or plant watermelon seeds directly. For best performance, plant watermelons in hot, sunny locations with loose, fertile, well-drained soil that is rich in organic matter. It is best to plant watermelons on raised rows and ensure that the soil pH is between 6.0 to 6.8. On average, it takes around 3 months for a watermelon to grow from seed to mature fruit, with smaller varieties having shorter growing times than larger varieties of watermelon. Watermelon growing, if done rationally and on a scalable basis, can be a good source of income.
back to our show for today. My name is Helena J, and my host, for the people who've come a bit late, my host, Rudia Jina Tafadhali ndo wakujue.
My name is Fiona Luta.
Yes, and we've learned a lot from her, and the topic of today is the importance of social media, or rather social media's effect in farming, right? And we've really learned a lot, and she's a social media specialist. Is that the best way to actually put it? Yeah, a social media specialist for today, and we've really learned a lot. Now, before we delve back to what we're talking about, let's get back to the weather. I want to read for you a bit of the weather. Pale uko ndo ujue hali ya anga vile iko. Now, from Nairobi, the temperatures are a minimum of 15 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 40 or 26 rather. And in Mombasa, the temperatures are going to be 22 degrees Celsius minimum and maximum of 28 degrees. And in Kisumu, we're going to be having 18 degrees minimum Celsius and maximum it's going to be 26 degrees. In Eldoret, a minimum of 11 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 24 degrees. In Nakuru, we're going to be having a minimum of 11 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 28 degrees Celsius. So basically, it's going to be a bit intervals of sun, In Nyeri, it's going to be cloudy and sunny, so that means it's going to be a minimum of 14 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 35 degrees Celsius. So in Marsabit, it's going to be, there are going to be intervals of sun during the day, so it's going to be a minimum of 16 degrees Celsius and a maximum of 26 degrees Celsius. So pale huko, I hope umepata hali ya anga ya leo. Now, before we wind up, my microphone imeamua kufanya ile kitu. Now, before we wind up, I want us to just get a bit of bearing from, to just get a bit of bearing of what we talked about. We're talking about social media and its effect for a farmer. And I think we are in agreement that social media is actually very beneficial to anyone in any business. And right now we're talking about a farmer. It's very beneficial for you in terms of business, in terms of also farming and learning other ways to farm, because you have so many avenues and so many social media sites that will actually help you. And farmers are actually out there, teaching people. We are here, like I said before, Afarmers Media. We're here to teach you, to enlighten you, to create awareness on so many social things that are happening out there. So don't be afraid to text us, to DM us, to reach out to us. Actually, our social media handles are right now we're live, so we're on Facebook at Afarmers Media, on Twitter Afarmers Media, on also on YouTube Afarmers Media, and our website is www.afarmers.com. So do not be afraid. I want to hear from you guys. What has social media actually helped you as a farmer, as an agriculturist? How has it helped you with your farming, with your businesses? I'd like to hear from you. Do not shy away. We'd like to learn also from your aspect so that we can also help one another. Sindio. Now, before we wind up, I would like to know more about our host for the day. A little bit, we get to know her a little bit. Yendo metufunza kidogo. Let us also, learn a bit more about who she is and what she does. I'd like to know, what do you do when you want to unwind? Up and close. We want to get up close and personal with you, kidogo. So what do you do to unwind as a social media specialist?
I listen to a lot of music.
Okay.
I listen to a lot of music, a few podcasts here and there.
Okay.
And there's a podcast I've been loving and I should recommend. The podcast is called It's Related, I Promise.
Okay.
It's quite a fun, informative, it's quite a nice podcast.
Okay.
So when I feel like just relaxing on my way home, it's one thing I listen to. And I also listen to a lot of music.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So any social media sites that you're into, which is the one that you're actually into, since we are talking about social media, which is the one that you're mainly into?
Right now, I'm loving Facebook. I work there a lot, so I'm loving Facebook. But when I want to relax and chill and just catch up and see what people are up to, I get to Instagram. So I relax a lot on Instagram, just seeing what people are saying, what people are doing, how many people are traveling, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are a few apps that I love. I also love Twitter.
Okay.
I'm a newbie in Twitter. So guys, follow. So
follow. Don't forget also, we're also on Twitter. Follow.
Yeah. So
Okay,
Twitter is also a space that I'm...
And what are you reading right now?
What I'm reading right now is it's also an audiobook, and it's also a podcast. It's called Unfuck Your Brains. I know.
Censored,
but it's a very nice read. It's a very nice read.
Okay.
Quite informative also.
Okay. As we unwind also, I think I would like to know from your aspect, the friends that you talk to, before we finish, the friends that you talk to, which other sites do you think that they use also? Which is the mainly used social media sites that they use?
My friends, they use Instagram a lot. Facebook also, because they are also promoting their businesses. They are also putting their businesses out there. So Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Yeah, Kenyans on Twitter, so they are also on Twitter a lot.
Okay.
And what's your favorite meal? I would really like to know. That's a question from me. What's your favorite meal?
Fish. I love fish with anything.
Really?
I love fish. I'm a fish person. Napenda fish sana. So if you're a fish farmer, I'm your audience. I love fish a lot. There's something I love to eat a lot, an ugali. But ugali makes me sleep, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You know, too, mlikuwa mnalala high school.
That's why we didn't have lunch. As ugali. If you had ugali for lunch, that was it for all the students. Will be gone.
You'll be gone. I can relate. I promise. And what kind of content are you consuming more right now?
Oh, right now, funny enough, right now I'm learning to code. Funny enough, I'm on sites that actually teach me how to code. I think you need to take the whole advantage of social media, because it also is a wider scope also. So you get to learn so many things. So that's what I've actually been learning a lot. Yeah. Okay. So that's what I'm focused on. Yeah.
Favorite social media pages?
Instagram and Twitter. I think Twitter, because Twitter is very informative. And you get real news. I won't lie, and I'll ask you this question also.
Okay.
I don't watch TV as much as I used to way before. Right now, social media is my TV. It's where I get my daily dose of everything, from fashion to music to politics to the news that's happening in Kenya. That is what I go to. So I won't lie, TV is for me, but social media is what I go to. So Instagram and Twitter are my main social media apps that I use a lot. Yes. What about you? I'm curious.
The social medias I use a lot, or the ones I think I've answered that.
Oh, you've said
so Instagram and
Facebook and
so
Instagram.
Why do I consume so much content from those two? For me, Instagram is a bit fashion forward. Okay. Like the creators on Instagram are a bit fashion forward. So I love fashion. I love fashion. I love to keep up with the fashion trends. So that's where I get most of my inspiration from my fashion choices. And then for Facebook, I would say Facebook, I realize it's more of a mature audience, especially the content I create and the content I'm pushing. My target audience is mature people. So once in a while, plus Facebook is a platform that has been there for so long. So just to reminisce and go back and so that's why I love Facebook and Instagram. So do you and my job is also on Facebook. So I have no choice.
I was talking to somebody yesterday, actually it was Kevin, and we were talking about, the late Queen Elizabeth, she passed on. Yeah. And we were asking, like, I want to talk about the station, but you know which one it is. It was airing the whole burial procession.
Okay.
Because apparently now I got to understand that it has majority of the viewers. So do you think people are consuming TV more, or people are consuming social media more for their information and for their just everything with news?
I think when it comes to consuming news and anything that is put out there, let us put aside this other content. When we focus on news, we have young people are consuming it from the socials, but then we have this percentage of people who are diehard fans
of TV.
Like, your folks. Those are people who will sit down, time your news, and they will be like, quiet, everyone to now watch news.
News, yeah.
But the younger people, they consume news more on the socials. And a percentage of them will tell you, I can't remember the last time I watched news.
Yeah, I can't even. But
unless there's something happening.
Yeah, but for me, it's just, social media is what it's fast. I feel like for me, it's faster. The information you get is very fast. It's a now type of information. I don't know, something might happen now and somebody posts it, and
it's quicker.
It's faster. So I think that's why it's a bit more attractive to so many people, because people want right now information. Do you think that has also kind of pushed certain modes of media out of business? For instance, newspaper and all that.
This is what I'll repeat and say. Whatever your model of putting information out there, trust me, you still have your target people. There's someone who is comfortable going to work in the morning, just read a newspaper. So I wouldn't say that they have taken them out of business, because they're diehard fans who still believe I have to read a newspaper to acquire information. Now, we have the millennials, the Generation Z. These are people who want first-hand information. Something has happened. Where do I go for it? I'll go on Twitter and see, has it been posted already? I'll go to Instagram. Has it been posted? I'll go to Citizen's page. Has it been posted? So we have a generation that are more attracted to first-hand information. But there are people who are still stuck in their old ways, and not in a bad way, where they believe I have to read my newspaper. I have even to play. You see those games on a newspaper?
The code word.
Yeah, there are people who are still, they're diehard fans.
But I think also, newspapers also delved into also social media. There are e-newspapers. So I think
there are soft copies of the same.
Yeah, so most modes of businesses are getting into social media. Yeah, so as you see, other companies are also advancing. They're realizing they have to go with the times. So don't shy away from getting into social media to advertise your business, your agribusiness, your farm, whatever you produce, you're putting out there. Don't be shy. Get into it. There are people who are going to... Just don't be shy to consume also the knowledge that is going to be there, because that will also be the tool that will also help you to, learn, grow, reach a different audience, and help you as a farmer, help you as an agriculturalist, and somebody who has a newbie rather, who has never gotten into it. It will actually help you. So I want to say thank you so much for coming on to the show, and for teaching and enlightening our farmers who are out there who never really thought of, using social media as a platform for them to actually market themselves. We've learned a lot. Thank you so much. Now, before we leave, I want to say thank you to our viewers. Thank you so much. Do not shy away. I will keep on saying this. Do not shy away from texting us, from getting on our social media handles and talking with us. We're going to reply. We're going to, have conversations with you. We want to learn also from you and your concerns and all that. We're going to help you out. My name is Helena J. This has been Afarmers Media on Facebook, Afarmers Media on Twitter, Afarmers Media on YouTube, and www.afarmers.com. Enjoy your day. Thank you so much.